Now that I got me some Bombay gin, everybody got their cuss, but they ain't chipped in. This type of shit happens all the time. You got to get yours before I got to get
Gotta get
mine.
mine.
Everything is fine when you listen in the DOG. I got the captivating music that be captivating. She
Ooh.
who listens
Oh, I was gonna say, keep going.
to the words I speak as I take me a drink to the middle of the street.
Rolling
That's it.
down the street. No.
Oh, I forgot that part. I forgot that part came next.
I started crip walking and throwing up my fake gang signs. Black at it again for another not so private conversation. That just put me in a really great mood.
Girl, you see the first line is now that I got me some Seagram's gin, but I got that Bombay gin, that Bombay gin.
That really just put me in a really good mood, which is interesting because I wanted to talk to you about, well, we'll get into it. Okay. We just out here living and learning on in this wonderful Teeny Tuesday, clink, making clink, it clink. Happen day by day. Clink, clink. Got my dirty martini. What about you?
Also have a dirty martini. Celebrate holiday. Nice.
So we're just gonna jump right in because I need this week. I need some help.
Okay.
And you
sound nervous.
You're the one that can help me. We have these weekly conversations, so we are scheduled for our weekly conversation. Therefore, you guys to help me.
I'm gonna try my best, girl.
So, as we know, this is the year of bullshit, and things are ever changing. And every single day, I have felt like I have just been waking up. And the goal of the day is to hold on to my sanity. I saw something today, or maybe it was yesterday, that said Mercury is going to be in retrograde until November 3rd. Forever. It's going to be in retrograde until November the 3rd, which is election day. We spent all of last week's conversation talking about election, and sis, I'm tired. I don't know about you, but I'm tired.
So tired.
I did vote. I know you voted. Too. We did early voting. So if you have not voted, people go and vote. But Mercury's going to be in retrograde until November 3rd. November 3rd is election day.
Like the 1st or the 2nd?
You know what I'm saying? But that's very ironic. So we know that most of the world in our country is going back to work, trying to figure out how to still navigate this pandemic. COVID is surging again. We're, of course, dealing with the election cycle, and we still have to deal with our personal lives and our relationships, and we are still bearing witness to injustice almost on a daily basis. It's just a lot, right? We know this. We've had multiple conversations about this. But now, on top of everything else, the season is changing. The days feel shorter, right?
Yeah.
So if you're like me, you actually end up disliking this time of the year because it gets darker sooner. And like, it's 7:50 right now. It's going to start getting dark at 5:30. I can't deal. And I really like the fall. I like autumn.
And that's what I was going to say. I love fall and fall weather. So it's kind of on the fence for me. It's like I love it, but I don't like how, just the same thing. You don't like how it gets dark.
Right. So fast. The season change actually affects me a lot. So when I was a kid, I always hated when daylight savings times rolled around and we had to fall back.
Oh, yeah.
I used to hate it. But it wasn't until a few years ago that I realized that I was really sad around this time of year.
Seasonal depression. Is that where you're going?
So this time of year just does not feel productive to me. It feels like I'm losing time, and then so many other strange abnormal emotions start to pop up on top of your everyday stress. You wake up and it's dark. You get
Right.
off work and
And
it's
it's
dark.
dark.
You go home, it's dark. You spend most
Mhm.
of your day, if you are working full time, you spend most of your day inside a place. And you don't really get to enjoy your day off or your time off. And so that's been my struggle. And so years ago, I realized that there was a name for it, which a lot of people are familiar with. So you already know what it is:
Mhm.
seasonal depression, or it's called seasonal affective disorder,
Mhm.
SAD, sad, which
Oh.
is how I feel.
Oh.
That's exactly how I tend to feel. But, also this time of year, the holidays come around, and sometimes that helps. So in my case, that does help. But for other people, the holidays actually make it worse.
Yeah.
So that's what I need your help with
Oh
today.
god. Oh god. And I can't even really think if I get that sad during the fall. I think I don't know. I'm a early riser already, so I'm already up when it's dark. So that doesn't really bother me. And now that I'm working from home, I'm inside all the time, and I've been inside for like 4 months.
Right. Like
So,
with the pandemic, we've been home.
right.
A lot of people, the people who are trying to do right, we've been home for 7 months.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Honestly,
So,
I don't think I can get any more depressed than I already am.
and I
So
don't
it's
mean to
just
laugh, but bruh, that's
it's
real.
it's like, can I get SAD sad any more than I am already
S
with
A
everything's going on?
D D D D.
D.
So for people who don't know, or for people who just kind of need a refresher, seasonal affective disorder is a type of depression that's related to the change in seasons. So it begins and ends usually for most people around the same time every year. And if you're like most people with SAD, your symptoms start in the fall, like me, and continue through the winter months. And it zaps your energy and it makes you feel moody. But the good news about this is that it's not just you being moody or emo. There's
Right.
actually a name to it. Like, this thing has a name, and it's not just that time of the month, it's that time of the year. So you have to know that it is seasonal affective disorder. So I guess, you know what you're feeling, and kind of, you can pinpoint that this is that time of year. But like, for me, until just a few years ago, I didn't realize that this was a thing. Like, it was a thing that, kind of affected other people, but it wasn't a real disorder. This is a real thing that affects a lot of people. Like, I think it was something like 10 million people are affected by seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression. So,
Jesus.
yeah, it's like really crazy. But there are signs and symptoms that we do need to look out for, and they vary. So I know, like, mine are just basically moderately low, but they vary from low to very extreme for certain people. And so I was just kind of thinking about the things I've experienced and the things that, these reports in these journals and the research has reported. um a lot of the signs and symptoms are feeling depressed most of the day or nearly every day, losing interest in activities that you once enjoyed, having low energy, having problems sleeping, experiencing changes in your appetite or your weight, feeling sluggish or agitated all the time, having difficulty concentrating, feeling hopeless, worthless, or guilty, and then having frequent thoughts of death or suicide. So
Yeesh.
it goes from really mild to really severe. And like I said, I feel like it affects me moderately low, but I do identify with some of these signs. So when I think about it, like the stress of the day, being in my profession, very low energy, sometimes problem sleeping, low motivation, feeling sluggish, weight gain.
Mm. Mm. That's the one right there.
That's the one. Difficulty concentrating unless I'm in a very specific space or setting.
Right.
These are things that I identify with. Now, I do not identify with the hopelessness or the worthlessness or the guilty, death or suicidal type of feelings. I don't identify with those, but this is something that I thought was important enough to discuss with my therapist. So yeah, like I've made a resolution to actively combat seasonal depression this year. Because it ain't kicking my ass this year.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna do.
Oh, let me tell you. Let me tell.
I resolved that this year seasonal depression is not gonna kick my ass because this year has whooped up on all of us enough already. So I'm reclaiming my time. God damn it! I am reclaiming my time.
Reclaim it, girl.
So you asked, what am I going to do? This is what I'm going to do. And LDBs, if you are usually affected by seasonal affective disorder too, maybe some of these can help you too. So what I'm going to start doing, and I've already kind of started, I'm going to start going to bed earlier.
Like what time?
So this is where I need an accountability partner because I will be reading stuff on YouTube or binging or trying to catch up on the DVR or whatever. I need to be in bed by 10 o'clock.
What time are you going to bed now?
Somewhere in between 10:45 and 11:30, sometimes 12. I am going to go to bed earlier.
Okay.
My plan is to start my morning with a workout, whether it's yoga, stretching, or like a quick little cardio something. That's a part of the plan. It's on the list, but I need to keep praying on that one.
I was saying, so what time are you gonna wake up now? What time is that schedule?
So typically every morning I wake up at 5:30. So that would mean that I need to wake up somewhere around like 4 o'clock, 4:30. And I just don't see it. But maybe the Lord will drop something in my spirit, tell me, girl, get up. I don't know yet. I'm gonna keep praying on that one. Yeah. The next thing that I am going to do is I'm going to be intentional about getting out in the sun during the day if I can. I'm going to take a break during my lunch break and not just sit in the room and work through lunch, because I always take like a working lunch or something like that, or like go and talk to my coworkers or whatever in the next classroom or something. I'm going to go outside.
Right.
I'm also going to continue, because I have been really mindful about doing this, use the weekends to get outdoors when the weather is good. When the weather permits, I'm gonna be outside for a considerable amount of time. And then the next thing is I'm gonna really get better about taking my vitamins. I need to be more consistent with that. And I'm going to put an emphasis on vitamin D because so the next thing is doing better with my diet. I am going to eat more vegetables. I'm not the type who hates vegetables. I love vegetables. I'm just going to be more mindful about eating more vegetables.
Right.
And then along with the workouts and stuff, I'm going to treat my body well. So be kind to my body, especially since I already feel myself being more tired. I have such low energy that it is unreal. Like seasonal depression came early this year. Like that person who was not invited to the party, seasonal depression came early.
Mine must have started January 1st. It must have came at the beginning.
You're right. It started hella early this year.
2020, the year of
the whole year has been
a 4-season depression.
Seasonally affected by this year. So, but I'm gonna treat my body well. I'm gonna listen to my body and be nice and be kind to my body. I am also going to incorporate more intentional affirmations. So being kind to my body, but being kind to my mental space as well, feeding myself more positive affirmations. And then, of course, on the fun side, conversations, a little bit of talk therapy with my friends, like
Mhm.
kikiing with the girls and whatnot.
Mhm.
And that reminds me, we need to schedule that virtual happy hour
Oh,
ASAP.
yeah. Yes, been past time to get drunk over Zoom.
And of course, a personal favorite, I'm going to start taking naps again. I used to be the
Ugh,
nap queen. If I'm
I've never
tired,
never been a napper. Never been a
girl,
napper.
I can nap with the best of
No.
them.
But I think that's why I wake up so early.
Yeah.
I'm able to wake up early because I go to bed early
Mm-hmm.
because I don't take naps.
Yep. So that's my plan. I'm going to do my best to, and now everybody knows, if you are listening, you now know what my plan is, so you can hold me accountable. Jeanne, you can hold me accountable too, to really do what I need to do to like get through this time of the year.
I think those are some great, like, I don't know. I think like you pick something that will really work. I think they are very reasonable and doable. Some of them have already been on my list and been on my
Uh-huh.
list for months,
Mhm.
especially the vitamins. I actually had
Yeah.
to cancel my vitamin subscription because I have 3 bottles that I haven't even opened yet. That's how far behind on my ritual vitamins I am.
Yeah.
I know.
Nice little plug to Ritual, sponsor us.
Right. But they have that vitamin D. So if you need that, try it because it really does help. I'm
How
just
about you
very
just send me a bottle of your unopened
I
vitamin?
just should, right? And
Totally.
the affirmations, I have like one sticky note in my desk area, but I keep saying like I'm gonna post more so I can see it and read it every day. And I don't know. I don't know. I just have so much that you said that I've been planning on doing. Has nothing to do with seasonal depression, but just like everyday life. And I still haven't done them yet. So maybe if I hold you accountable, you can hold me accountable.
Yes,
Mhm,
that
mhm,
would be
mhm,
great.
mhm.
So when you were mentioning the affirmations, I thought about, you said sticky notes. I also thought about how people are driving when they're on their way to work or on their commute or whatever, and how they listen to a lot of podcasts. So
Mhm.
continue doing that, but it's an album that I want to share. And it's called Soul Affirmations, SOL Affirmations
Mhm.
by Soul Development,
Mhm.
SOL Development. And it's this couple that I saw on Black Love that comes
Oh,
on
my
the show that comes
show.
on.
Y
Oh
In
my
UMC.
gosh. Oh, really?
Yep, that's how we watch it.
Well, they came on this particular episode, and it was this couple named Kariga Bailey and his wife Felicia. They make up this group
Bye.
called Soul Development, and man, they have an album. First of all, if you can find that episode is amazing. It changed my outlook on so many things. It's so sad. I was in tears watching this episode. And they have an album of strictly affirmations. And so from that day, which was like last week sometime, I started listening to these affirmations on my way to work. When I have
Mhm.
downtime and I'm like putting in grades or doing something like that, I'll play the entire album of affirmations. It's only 10 tracks, and the whole album is only 12 minutes long.
Oh, wow.
If I can recommend anything to
That's
you
short.
or our LDBs, get this album and listen to it. And I promise you will not regret it. It is so good. It is a couple, but they speak to every single person through every single situation. It is so good. I recommend it 1,000%. Thank me later. So if you also deal with seasonal affective disorder or seasonal depression, email us or DM us. Hell, text me and let me know. I know I'm not the only one, but let me know what you do to fight seasonal depression, because it is a doozy.
But isn't there like holiday depression thing
There
too?
there is seasonal depression when it pertains to the holiday season coming up, and a lot of times it has to deal with childhood trauma, loss of a family member, or grieving someone uh, who has passed previously during the holiday season, so they're associated
Mhm.
with that. But seasonal depression is just when the season changes, you start to
Right.
feel away,
But
and it's really real.
isn't there also like some type of depression like after the holidays are over that people get from like it's like the buildup of the holiday and it just being over after New
Once it's
Year's.
over, it's kind of just like, oh, back
Right.
to
Isn't that a
regular
thing
life.
too?
I want to say that it is. I don't know the
I
exact
think I heard about
terminology
that. I
for it
can't think
though.
of the word.
Hmm.
Yeah. God, it's just rough around this
It is.
time of year.
Everything is rough.
It's
Yeah,
like
it's
daylight
crazy.
savings is like it really brings it it brings on like the sad season. It's
That
like daylight savings
literally,
and then the
literally sad.
holidays and then after the holidays it's like there's so many people who suffer from each
Hmm.
part of that.
Hmm. You have the buildup of like the Thanksgiving holiday, the Christmas holiday,
Mhm.
New Year holiday. And then after that, it's just like, you just like
Mhm.
kind of hit it.
Right.
And then you're waiting until March, until spring rolls
Mhm.
around, so that the days get longer, the sun is out a little
Right.
longer, and you just feel an uptick in your mood. But yeah, I didn't realize it until I was at work last year, and I was like, oh, spring is right around the corner. Can get my life together. Like that's really what it felt like. I had like this weird epiphany, but I didn't realize that I was really dealing with seasonal depression.
So does seasonal depression end like right before spring starts? Is that usually the timeline is right when fall begins,
Yeah,
right
so they
before
call
spring
it
starts?
like winter sadness or winter something. I can't
Oh, I've
remember the
heard
exact terminology.
that. I think
It's
it's
something
winter
like that.
sadness. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I've heard
So
that.
yeah. And I mean, like I said, it's real. It has a name. It's something that affects 10 million people, and it's not just you being moody. It's a
Mm,
real thing that affects real people. So I noticed for me, because I don't know about anybody else, but I noticed for me that around this time, like October, around Halloween, um, I just start to feel really icky. I don't know how else to describe it, but I just feel like, ugh, like I don't
mhm.
like it. I feel like I'm not necessarily lazier, but I just feel like it takes a lot to get me going.
Like a lot of effort,
It
yeah.
takes a lot of effort to get me going. I don't feel inspired. I don't feel um, motivated. I definitely have less energy. I feel like a low level sense of dread about getting up and going every morning because I would rather be on my couch, like watching soaps and eating pizza.
Mm,
It's like
right.
that. But you continue on and you go through your day because, we're adults, we have responsibilities and obligations, and you're just waiting for that next bright spot. You're waiting for that next moment, or you're waiting for that next time where you can breathe without having responsibility attached to it. You just feel like, oh,
That's true.
I can just chill.
I just thought about some maybe it's not called Winter Sadness. I think I may be thinking about there's a song by Kool and the Gang called Winter Sadness. So that also might be it.
But why is it
But that's
called winter sadness?
I yeah, you're right.
Because
Like,
they
yeah, you're
because
right. You're
because they
right.
singing about seasonal depression.
And then
I
my
don't
other
know.
thing is you know how places like Alaska where it's dark the majority of the
Mhm.
years? Like I wonder I think I've heard before that they have a high suicide rate up there, and I wonder if that has
Oh,
anything to do with, seasonal
you could be
depression.
right. Don't they do 40 days of night and then 40 days
Yeah.
of day? I would be so happy if it was just 40 days of day. I don't know how I would sleep unless I had like
Mhm.
blackout curtains. But if it was 40 days a day, like I'm getting excited just thinking about it. Like I would be so happy. But if it was 40 days a night, oh, you count me out. Mm-mm. It ain't for
And
me.
then they have the places, the states. What is it, Seattle, where people have like this the light boxes
Yes.
because
So
it's
one of the ways, and it's not necessarily on my list, but I did used to work at a mental health hospital where
mhm,
light box therapy was an effective treatment for
mhm,
depression. So what you do is you sit in front of this contraption, and it is a box with a ridiculously bright light inside
mhm.
of the box, and there's a screen, and you just sit in front of this light for however long, and it helps produce, I don't know if it's serotonin,
Serotonin.
I don't know what it is, I don't remember, I'm a
Mhm.
little rusty, but it helps you feel better, for lack of a better word.
Right.
Sitting in front of this light helps you feel better. So
So, was there not a way to do that outside in the sun? Because I mean, the hospital you worked at was in Texas.
yeah, so you could, well, the people in the hospital, psych
Well,
hospital,
I'm
you
just
can't
saying,
go
I'm
you can't go outside like that. Well, actually, let me take that back. You could go outside, and the place that I worked at, I miss it so much. It was beautiful. Architecture and landscape was the best I've ever seen in the
Mhm,
world. Like, it's just beautiful place, but certain circumstances does not permit you to be able to go outside. So, for anyone else, yes, go outside, sit in the sun, sit in the grass, literally put your face towards the sun, close your eyes, and just,
mhm.
breathe, take deep breaths, and it helps. It really does help, because
I
I've
think
done it
I've
myself and
heard
it helps.
I think I've heard, that you can basically take your shoes and your socks off and put your feet on the ground,
Hmm.
like in grass, and that
Hmm.
helps with something. I'm not sure
Yeah,
what it
like
was, but I
grounding
think I've
techniques, you can feel the sensations because we are sensational beings. Yeah, all of
mhm,
that stuff helps. So, light therapy or whatever they call it. Um, I can't even remember. But it that's a real thing. Get
mhm,
get by some light, cuz I think that I'm affected by light as well. Um when it's dark, like, I feel dark. I feel
right,
away. Like, and
right,
that's not usually or naturally in my personality. I'm a pretty upbeat yet laid back type of person. So
mhm.
when I'm in a mood or in a funk, it's really funky. But,
Oh,
like,
stank ass.
oh,
Call me old stank ass
it
down.
is really funky. I'm rarely in
Yeah.
those moods, but when I get in those moods, don't
Moody, moody,
just
moody.
leave me alone. Like, yeah, just don't even bother me until I come out of that mood. But also, my mood tends to improve when I have something to look forward to. So
Right.
I'm one of those people as well. Like, when I have something to look forward to, because I'm pretty active, then I'll perk up like real quick. Like, don't get me excited. We going to do something? And it could be anything. It could literally be anything, something small, but that's my nature. That's how I am. So that means for me that I have to now during this season, and I know what's happening, I have to put things in place, and I have to do things on purpose that will ensure that I combat this time of year successfully. Because if not, 2020 gonna do what 2020 gonna do on
Mhm.
top of seasonal depression, and I'm tired of getting my ass whooped by seasonal depression. So I'm trying to fight back now.
Right. I need to take on a lot of those practices. I say I don't really think I have seasonal depression, but the more I think about it, I think I do. But you didn't mention one thing that I do, and that's I sleep more. Is that a symptom?
Mm. It could be a symptom because it could be there could be an underlying reason why you sleep more. Is it because of low energy? Is it
Low
because
energy?
of, yeah, or is it because of like boredom or lack of interest?
All 4.
It
Wait,
could
that
be
was 3.
you're just tired more, or there's nothing to do, there's nothing going on in my life, so I'm gonna just sleep. It could be any of
E.
those things or all of the above. It could be all of those things. So, because I sleep more as well, but
Right.
sometimes my sleep doesn't have the same quality, I
Now
guess.
that is true. I do sleep more, but I'm not saying it's good. And
Right.
I still feel tired.
Mm-hmm.
And that's around that time. And I know when it gets around this time of year and the time goes back, I do complain about how dark it is all the time. So,
I hate this time of year because it gets dark at 5:30 and I'm
yeah,
like, it's still afternoon and it looks like it's 8
right.
o'clock outside. I
I
hate it
think I
so
remember
much.
saying to you, like, it's 5 o'clock and it's dark, and it's like, what am I supposed to do? Because it's time to be in the house because it's
Go to
dark
bed?
outside, right? I think I remember saying that to you before.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not. It's just the time and the dark daylight and darkness. So besides that, nothing else changed. Everything else is open at the same time. You
Right.
can do all the same things that you were
You
doing,
can.
but it's just like the energy it takes to like pick yourself up and actually like put forth the action to go out and do something. It just feels so
Yep.
hard.
Every time every season that this comes along, something changes inside of us. It almost feels like nothing else changes but like the time of day
Right.
and when it gets dark versus when it's light. So it's like we're affected by these. Are they slight changes though? That's kind of my question. Is that a slight change or is that a major change when half of the year is one way and then the other half of the year is the other way? But didn't
Mm.
Louisiana pass a law or somewhere passed a law that said like they're gonna keep daylight saving times year round to where it's just light all the time? I don't know. I don't
You
remember,
know
but
what?
it'd be amazing.
I think that is true.
That would be
I think
amazing.
you're right. I'm gonna have to
I don't
check.
know. We're gonna have to look that up and
Right.
report back. But if you think about it, let's really put this into context. A 7-month pandemic and ongoing, lockdown, quarantine stress, the lack of interpersonal interaction, 2 hurricanes affecting our hometown.
Right.
Me personally, going back to teaching face to face and virtually at the same damn time. Everybody being overworked and underpaid, except for the 1%, while the world is trying to chase normalcy. And then we have a president who continues to bully
Mm,
us and
mm,
act a damn fool. It feels like to me, this is just me, maybe you relate, maybe you don't, but
mhm.
it feels like we are trapped on this bullshit ass hamster wheel that just keeps going and going and going. And I'm like, bruh, can life get its big ass off of my chest, please?
I'm
Like, I
just
just want to chill. I just want to be able to breathe a little bit.
exactly. Like I just want to take a nap. That's what I was gonna say. I just
I
want to
just
take a
want to nap
nap.
in peace. I
That's-
just want to live my life without deadlines, without worrying about if I'm going to catch COVID, without
oh.
feeling the stress of this year. There's so many things that we have to worry about. Like, it
On
makes
top
you
of
just feel like you want to get your life together.
yeah, it makes you well, not 100%. It makes me feel like half of me is like, okay, now's time, like to do the things that you say you were always gonna do, and then the other
Right.
half of me is like, girl, what is even the point?
What's the point? What is
This
the point?
all going to shits anyways.
Going to hell in a hand basket. What the hell is a
Exactly.
hand basket anyway? Like it's going to hell in a hand basket.
Right. Why gotta be a handbasket? But okay, whatever. I didn't make it up. But
Man.
on a positive note, um, your your state, I just found out, breaking news. Your state is not the one that observes it, but they're trying to. Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas are
Oh
trying to
please, oh please, oh please, oh
observe
please, oh please, oh
year-round standard
please.
time. The only state that does not observe daylight savings times is Arizona.
Mm. So we're moving to
Arizona.
Arizona?
I mean, Texas trying to get there.
Come
It's
on,
trying to get
Texas.
there. We
Come
gonna see.
on, Texas.
We gonna see.
This would make me so happy. Like, I can literally get happy at the thought. I am over, and it hasn't even fully kicked in yet. Like, daylight savings time hasn't even rolled around completely yet, but it's like I said, it started early for a
Right.
lot of us. I don't think it's till sometime in November,
Yeah.
but
It's
I'm already feeling the effects. I'm already feeling the effects of it, and I just want to live. I just want to live my life in peace.
honestly like work should be shut down for the second half of the year when the time falls back. We we should just, not have to work.
Right. But
In a
you're
perfect
right.
world.
You're right. In the most ideal world, I don't want to work no more. We good. Let me just collect my paycheck and
Right.
live my life in peace. But
Exactly.
that is to all of this to say that this is a challenge for me and for 10 million
Ugh.
other people. But I don't back down from challenges. I live for a challenge. So get my life together. I will. Don't even trip. I'm going to get my life together.
You
I'm
got
going to
that.
bounce back like a G.
You will, girl.
You can't
All
touch
right,
me.
sis.
Snap, snap. Big sis in my head is already giving me the pep talk like, girl, activate savage mode now. It's
She's
time.
like, you about to kill this daylight savings, girl. And when I
I
say
need
kill
it.
it, I mean brat, brat,
Tat,
brat.
tat, tat.
Exactly. You got
But
this. I
that's all I
believe in you.
got. That's all I got. So I'm hoping that our LDBs kind of chime in and let us know how
Right.
they also fight seasonal depression and
Right.
seasonal affective disorder. Because I know I can't be the only one.
I mean, you did say 10 million people.
10
Um,
million.
I mean, I know a lot of times they pull these numbers from, the darkest place, but it sounds about right, and based on the symptoms, this sounds correct. I can definitely see a lot of people suffering from this. I can actually think about people that I work with that I can see like their energy levels just go low around this time of the year every year, and I'm pretty sure it has something to do with the climate change and time of year as well, and of course daylight savings. So like you said, LDBs, it sounds serious. Like, I ain't even gonna lie. Like, it sounds like a serious. I
It
think
really
I
does
just
affect a lot. If it
yeah.
affects a lot of areas of your life.
I never and I guess I just never thought about it because I never compared it to it being a form of depression. I always just thought, well, that's just how I am around this time of year. I don't know.
Right. Right.
You know how people be like, oh, it's probably about to rain because my knee is hurting. That's when I'm like, oh, it's about to be daylight savings because my energy level's going low.
Yeah,
It's
that's
like
how I
that.
was initially looking at it. I was looking at it like, oh, this is like kind of that time of year where I feel a little more low energy. And then I
Right,
realized I don't feel like myself. Like I don't feel like me. And
right,
that's when I was like, hold up, something ain't right. let's
right.
let's take a deeper dive into whatever this is. And come to find out, it has a whole name, it has plenty of research to support it, and it just it is what it is. And now that you have to do specific things to get through it. It's
No,
not
we
going to
got
take you
this.
out. That's one thing
Yeah.
about it. It's not going to take you out, but you do have to be very intentional and mindful about what you're doing, when you're doing it, how you're doing it, so that you can be successful in fighting it. Like I said, seasonal affective disorder, it ain't whooping my ass this year. I'm fighting back. I'm finna two-piece it.
LDBs, we just gonna jump it together. We all just gonna
Yes.
jump it. We gonna
Jump
curb
in.
stump it. Jump
Fight it
in.
with me. Fight it with me for
Right.
sure.
So that we can get through this. Cause and I don't like that feeling that I get at the end of the year. And I tell myself like, hey, it's only 5:30, 6 o'clock. You can go do something. You can go do something. This time I think I'm just gonna force myself. And then, based on how that makes me feel, we're gonna see if, I keep doing it again. But a lot of times once I do it, I feel better. It's just like actually doing it that's the hard part.
Yeah, it's
So
getting to
yeah.
the point where you're like, I'm gonna do
Yeah,
this.
like put
Even
on some
today,
clothes and go.
even today, I came home from work and I was like, I am going to the gym.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ask me if I went to the gym. And I know that I should have gone. But again, I'm not even going to beat myself up. I'm going to be kind to myself. I
Yeah.
went to the gym last night. I can take off today and then figure out when
Right,
I'm going to
girl.
go again. I just need to be nice to myself.
Yeah, and that is important too, and that's important for you guys to know as well. If you can't get it done, don't be hard on yourselves. Be kind to yourself. Like you wouldn't just think like, would I talk to a 5-year-old me this way? Would I talk to
Oh, girl.
another person that I know is suffering from the same thing? Like, would I talk to my best friend this way if she was
Mhm.
going through this?
Mhm.
So if the answer is no, then you just need to kind of train your mind to think differently about
Mhm.
it. And that's a whole nother set of steps to follow. But basically, they correlate with the same steps to help combat seasonal depression disorder. So, as long as you're trying, that's really all that matters. We just don't want to give up and it becomes something severe, especially this time of year.
Right. All the more reason why we need to really prioritize and emphasize taking care of ourselves, because that is just the most important
Right.
thing. The most important thing.
Right. And if you need somebody to talk to, like talk to your friend, talk to your therapist. Like everyone's going through something. It's 2020. Like we all got issues, honestly. If you think you
Everybody.
don't, you need to do some reflection. They just won't just don't let them get to you. Like Mia said, just keep practicing, keep
Mhm.
doing the things to keep you in a healthy mental state. Talk to your friends, talk to your family, and you'll be okay. Talk to us. We're here to
Yeah, talk to
listen.
us. Not so private pod at gmail.com. If you
Right.
got my number, shoot, text me, DM me. I
If you
am
got mine, don't, because I'm
always here.
probably not going to answer you back.
I have her, so hit her up. She'll be hitting me up. So it's the same. So yeah, I knew that you would have a little something for me. I knew you was gonna be able to help me out. I knew it.
Girl, I was over here like, oh my, like, I feel like I didn't really help you so much. You actually made a light bulb go off, and I was like, well, damn,
Oh.
maybe this is me. Maybe
Well,
I
that's
do
why we're
this.
here. That's why we have these conversations. We help each other.
Just open up another can. Is it help me? Is
Bruh.
it?
Misery loves company.
I'm here for you now. There ain't no going back.
Let us know how you combat seasonal depression or seasonal affective disorder. Hit us up on the email, on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on whatever social media you
Mhm.
can find us on. Send us a text. We are just two regular as girls trying to make sense of life through these
Every
not so
day.
private conversations. Every day,
Mhm.
like my cousin says, day by day. We just
Day by day.
trying to make it make sense.
Mhm.
So with all of that being said, I'm going to talk to you next week for
Oh, next
another
week.
not so
Oh,
private
another night so
conversation.
private conversation. Oh, okay.
Another not so
Oh, another
private
one.
conversation. Another one. Another
Another
one.
one. Oh, okay.
Another one in my DJ Khaled voice. Another not so private conversation next week. I got something for you.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I need to go
Just
take a
wait for
nap. I need to go take a nap, pray on it, practice some of those mental health tips
Yeah.
that you gave me so I can prepare for
Mhm,
next week, okay?
mhm. In the meantime, in between time,
Between
I'll be
time.
working on my seasonal depression. Bye, girl.
Bye. Thank you so much, long distance besties, for joining us again for another not so private conversation. Don't forget to check us out on Instagram at Jeanne V. Williams. That's at Jeanne, Jeanne V. Williams, and at Perfectly Mia. That's at Perfectly MIA. And if you have any topic suggestions or any questions, shoot us an email at notsoprivatepod@gmail.com.
Make sure you hit the subscribe button. We definitely appreciate it. Remember to leave a review on Spotify, Apple, and Google. You can also find us at Radio Public, Pocket Cast, Overcast, and Breaker. And you can find us on anchor.fm/not so private pod. Now you can also hear us on YouTube. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Not So Private Podcast channel. Now, with all of that being said, join us next time for another not so private conversation.